Now look at us. We rising up. You don't really know I shine. Me, I got something that I need to prove. I cannot lose, nah. Everything I do that really is news. You look confused, why? You are what you choosing to do. Me, I've been making the moves, paying my dues, getting this done with the fam. Y'all know that I am the dude. Bend that low, hit that high, got that hustle, got that drive. One more time, best alive. I want it all, everything mine.
Welcome back to the Football Forecast, man. You already know what time it is, dude. I'm going to be picking every single game against the spread, the over-unders, and there are some juicy money lines out there. Maybe I'm reading into some of these things too much, but the way that the public has kind of gotten over on Vegas over the last couple weeks tells me that something's up. If it looks obvious, I'm telling you right now, don't bet it. So let's get into it, man.
There ain't nothing better than the West Side, that's right. We on the map, we get the bag and they run it back. And I'm like, ooh, we on the map, we get the bag and they run it back. And I'm like, ooh, we know what's up.
The next game, this is really, like, I don't have a great feel here, but I'm not like a lean guy. Like, I pick teams, I bet teams. There's not like a, oh, well, maybe. I don't do that shit. So Seattle's at home. They're three flat right now. I think it'll get to 3.5. But they're 3-point underdogs at home. The Buffalo Bills are the road favorites here by 3 points. The over/under in this game is set at 47.5. Honestly, this line makes exact sense to me. You don't really know which version of either one of these teams is going to show up. At times, they both look like they can hang 47 on any team. And at other times, man, it's just kind of a nightmare offensively for these teams. Defensively, they've both shown that they are liable to give up points. I think that this is, really, honestly, this could go. I could bet every combination, both spreads and both over-unders. That's 4 combinations. I could probably bet 3 and be wrong. Really, I don't have a good feel here. DK Metcalf is doubtful to play, but otherwise Seattle's pretty healthy. They're coming off of a road blowout win against the Falcons. So maybe they come back home and get comfortable. Obviously, Josh Allen just dropped a couple games, but then he's coming off of a win as well. Buffalo's also pretty much completely healthy. You throw Amari Cooper into the mix. They're really hurting at linebacker. Obviously, they lost Matt Milano earlier in the year. Now their second string middle linebacker, he's out as well. I think that this is a shootout, man. I do think that this is over 47.5. But I just really gave the edge here to Seattle, just being the home team is what it come down to. So I'm going to take Seattle plus a field goal. Also going to take them on the money line as well. All right, so next we've got the Los Angeles Chargers laying 7.5 points at home against the New Orleans Saints. The over-under in this game is only 39.5. And to be completely honest with you, I think that this is by far like the most foul line that there is this weekend. Again, this is another one of those huge spreads considering the team that is favored here. The Los Angeles Chargers aren't exactly explosive on offense. They're more of a ground and pound, wear you out, shorten the game by running the football and keeping the clock running type of team. They don't really score much. And then to be favored by 7.5 with such a low over-under total at 39.5, this is pretty sloppy. So this could mean one of two things. Obviously, they think this is going to be a low-scoring game. I think that Vegas could easily see this being a 2-possession game for sure. And when you consider that the over-under is so low, that's not really that much wiggle room. So I think that Vegas is telling us that it's going to be low scoring and that basically the only scoring in this game is going to be the Chargers. I think that they are trying to tell us this is going to be somewhere in the ballpark of like 27-10. Ish, like it could get ugly. I don't see Spencer Rattler and the New Orleans Saints putting up that many numbers. They haven't looked horrible on offense, but they haven't looked great. What they do best is run the football, and what the Los Angeles Chargers do best is stop the run. The Los Angeles Chargers are also extremely healthy. Carr is probably still not playing, even though he's technically listed as questionable. If he plays, that will probably change my opinion 1,000%. But as of right now, he's listed as questionable. And earlier in the week, they pretty much already said that Spencer Rattler would be in for one more week. So I jacked up the alt spread here. I think that they're telling us that New Orleans isn't going to move the ball very much and that the Chargers are going to win easily. So I took them -7.5. I like the over, even though the Chargers I don't expect to put up 30 points by themselves. I can see New Orleans scoring 13. At times the Chargers look pretty vulnerable against the pass. So Spencer Rattler might be able to get a little bit going. I like the Los Angeles Chargers here. I like the over. And if you feel comfortable with it and you're kind of seeing it the way that I'm seeing it, man, don't be afraid of the alternate spread, man. Raise that number up a little bit. The next game, Washington, is laying 2.5 points at home against Chicago. The fact that the Washington Commanders are home underdogs to the Chicago Bears tells me that Jaden Daniels is not playing. Jaden Daniels was originally said that he would be week to week, and now he's listed as a game time decision. If we've learned anything from the NFL this season is that they are some lying assholes, man. They keep us in the dark. Obviously, it's intended to keep their opponent in the dark. But, man, when you have so many things as far as gambling and fantasy football, man, transparency is important because the people that are supporting and endorsing your product are also laying additional money on top of it. So the stakes are a little bit higher, man. I would like them to be a hell of a lot more transparent. That's for damn sure, because it seems like somebody knows, and they reside in Vegas. They're not us, okay? So that's kind of bullshit to me. But this line's telling me that they don't expect Jaden Daniels to play. If Jaden Daniels was in the game, it's hard for me to believe, even as good as the Chicago Bears defense is, that the Washington Commanders would be home underdogs. So Chicago doesn't really show the ability to score. They've looked a little bit better offensively, but not much. I know the Washington Commanders have a defense that you can cut through with a butter knife. Okay, they're not putting up that much resistance defensively. Mariota looked okay, but there's film on him now. I just think that if Jaden Daniels is out of the game, that completely changes how explosive the potential offense from Washington could be, on top of Chicago just having a hell of a defense. I think that Chicago has enough offensively to score points against the Washington Commanders. If Jaden Daniels plays, I'm going to completely switch sides. I'm solely betting Chicago -2.5, also under 45.5, solely based on the fact that Jaden Daniels is not playing. If Jaden Daniels is playing, I expect that -2.5 to become a +2.5 for the Chicago Bears, in which case I would take the Washington Commanders -2.5, and I would also take the over, even if they raised it a touchdown. If he's playing and they raise it from 45.5 to 52.5, I would take that. I would take them minus a field goal and to score more than 52.5 combined, for sure. So that's kind of a wait and see type of game. The next game, Las Vegas is hosting the last undefeated team in the NFL, the Kansas City Chiefs, two-time reigning defending champs. The Kansas City Chiefs tend to struggle with this team, man. Las Vegas laying 9.5 points at home it's just telling me that it's a classic letdown spot here for Kansas City, man. Antonio Pierce kind of has, for whatever reason, he kind of has Andy Reid's number. Not saying that they're going to win this ball game. I'm not betting them to win this game, but I think that they can keep it within 9.5 points. Kansas City hasn't exactly been a juggernaut. They haven't been blowing teams out other than New Orleans on primetime a couple weeks ago. But he'll have AP will have his boys ready to play. I think that the public perception of the Raiders is so bad right now. They obviously lose Devontae Adams. I'm thinking that Vegas thinks that they can just spit out any high number with the Chiefs against the Raiders, with the picture that's basically painted of the Raiders publicly, and it's well deserved. They look like shit. But I can just see this being the typical Kansas City Las Vegas game that's close for no reason, because the talent gap, the coaching gap between these two teams is astronomical. But for whatever reason, man, Kansas City going to Las Vegas, there's just something in the water there, I guess, man. I don't think that they cover. I think it's a low-scoring game. I think that Max Crosby has that defense fired up, man. I don't expect a whole lot of points here, so I like the under 42.5, and I like Las Vegas plus 9.5 at home. The next game is another one of those games where you have a team like Denver who's at home laying 8. Denver doesn't score enough points to lay 8, but they are playing Carolina. The over-under in this game is 43.5. So, again, with the Broncos not scoring very much and the over-under total being relatively low, especially when you consider that their opponent is the Carolina Panthers, I don't like Carolina at all right now, especially considering that Bryce Young is going to be starting for them again this week because Andy Dalton was obviously involved in that car wreck where he hurt his hand. So I expect them to very much fall back to the Carolina Panthers that they looked like the first couple weeks. I think that Vegas is telling us that Carolina is not going to score and that Denver is going to run wild. Quick side note, Bo Nix hasn't been a great fantasy player this year so far, but I've got a little hunch that he's going to run wild. Just a little teaser. I might put out some picks as far as, props and different parlays and special bets go. It'll be a separate video. But just to tease it, yeah, I like the Bo Nix alternate rushing yards here, man. I think that there's a serious potential that Bo Nix could rush for anywhere between 50 and 80 yards, and I guarantee you, without looking at it, that Bo Nix to rush for 50 to 80 yards is plus money. So I would like to put out a teaser on a Bo Nix rushing ladder and an anytime touchdown as well. So yeah, I definitely like Denver minus 8.5. I jacked the alt spread up. I jacked the alt spread all the way up to 22.5. But yeah, definitely think that Vegas is telling us that Carolina's not going to score very much and that Denver's going to easily win going away. This isn't a big number with a good team where they're like trying to get you to buy them. This is them straight up telling you how bad the Carolina Panthers are. So yeah, I think the Denver's going to kick their ass. This week is one of those weeks where, like, if it looks obvious, be careful. Be careful with those obvious lines, man. Dig a little deeper. This is going to be a fluky week, man. So if it looks obvious, I'm telling you right now, don't bet it. But anyways, man, that's my advice, but what the hell do I know? So go get you some money, man. Do it your way. Later.
How you play the game with the people that writing the rules? Ain't the fame that I'm after when paying the dues. I've been through the pain that's reflected in the attitude. Might be winning now, but the thing is that I had to lose. So go and tell me what you really want to do. And lonely at the top, cause there ain't a lot of room. Ain't no other option, it's all I ever knew. So I'ma get it poppin', you know how I'ma do. I've been down through the blood and the sweat. Guarantee you can know I'm a threat. I've been down through the blood